beautiful email from somebody. Oh, I'm going to respect her privacy. But a really, really gorgeous email. And she writes, I was wondering if I could request a ripple inspired by your calm heart, calm vision ripples, and what I'm experiencing and witnessing in myself reflected in the collective. In short, I am trying not to freak out about falling in love with a young man and the collective fear of a cruel summer, quote unquote. I am sensing all around me people fearing the thrill and heat and joy of summer, embracing anticipation for the other shoe to drop. I will try to keep my personal story brief, but for the context, I think we really did unlock something romantic in our treatments. The very long story made short is the dynamic of a relationship I have had with a dear, dear friend has slowly shifted into something far more than platonic, and we recently unveiled it all to each other, finding ourselves on the precipice of uncovering just how deep, thrilling, and full our feelings are for one another. It feels as surprising as it does obvious, safe as it is terrifying. I have so much fire in my constitution, and that's a key phrase which we'll come back to. And the heat of this summer is feeling especially hot with joy, anxiety, and the warmth of heartfelt connection. I think we are all feeling this way as we emerge from our lockdown cocoons. But of course, it is a tentative, hesitant, delicate joy. We all want to enjoy the thrill of unburdened joy that was so absent in 2020, but everyone I know who describes being excited for the world to open back up immediately backs up any claim of excitement with a qualifying statement that puts the cap on the joy and anticipation. I feel like we're all trying to mediate this polarity between leaning into pleasure while bracing against and holding the pain we've all learned we're capable of experiencing and carried through the winter. It reminds me of the Rilke poem about letting both beauty and terror happen. Would love your thoughts on this and a little ripple that helps us feel the vulnerability of joy and pleasure without letting fear spoil the whole thing. So I thought that was very beautiful, so full and open and tender. And I find myself in the last few months, when people are reporting things in this vein, and the last example was a patient came to me and said, I'm this is the honest truth. He said to me, I'm too brilliant. I do my job extremely well. And I did my old job extremely well. I can do so many things extremely well. And he said, I feel like I overwhelm myself. And so instead of doing a treatment to calm him down, I said to him, well, if you've got so much capacity, why don't you do more? Like, maybe you're a great painter as well. How would you know? Why don't you do more? And so I said, how do you know it's not in your nature to expand yourself, and so that you can let go of this fear of expansion? Anyway, he thought that was quite bizarre. However, on his way home, he stopped at the art store and took a photo of the painting that he did the next day, and it was magnificent. And he said, you know what? That was the answer. It wasn't to try to calm myself down and tuck myself in. It was to expand even more. And when I read this email today that I just read you, I thought, the answer is, so the key statement, I think, I think the key statement in that email is, I have a lot of fire in my constitution. So you have a lot of fire in your constitution. It would be your nature to go in all guns blazing, would it not? Would it not be in her constitution to just go in? There's so much holding back in this email that is against what she prefaces as being her nature. I have so much fire in my constitution. So I thought, this is very, very interesting. There's another statement, that she wants to balance. Where did she say that? To balance vulnerability and joy and pleasure without letting fear spoil it. Well, HT-8, which is the fire point, is an inherently cooling point. So it's the master point of the heart channel, which means it's the fire point on a fire channel. So it's called the lesser mansion, but its function is to celebrate the concentration of fire, and that may be her most powerful point. HT-8, which you can find by making a fist, and it's where your pinky lands on your palm. But you can also use that point to cool the channel down. So inherent in the yin spring point, which can, depending on whether it's on a yin or yang channel, be a water or a fire point, that has that balancing nature inherent in it. So it urges one to be oneself, to be fully enthusiastic and not hold back, and focusing on it creates a cooling balance that's inherent in the point. I think I just repeated myself 3 times. But I think that's a perfect point for this. And the other point, also on the heart channel, would be the low point, HT-5, which treats the feeling of longing for something that's not fully available. And it allows you to shift into, I'm longing for this, and who's to say it's not fully available? I'm going in. I'm fully in. You bleed that, the pericardium and the heart at REN 17 fully open, and you're all in. So that would be my approach, not to try to quell the fear, but to actually ramp up the fire. And, I think when you have a few days and you contemplate your own mortality, because on Friday morning I thought, if this thing penetrates my brain any further, I think, I will not be functioning. And we know many people with Lyme disease who just can't hold down a job, can't concentrate, despite any manner of treatment. And I think when you come out of that, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself, it's just a fact. You come out and you think, wow, you've got to live life on a different level. So I would like to infuse my contribution to this ripple with that feeling. But how would we make it applicable to all of humanity? Well, that's easy, isn't it? Let's all live that way, full of unbridled enthusiasm, courage, moving forward. So thanks so much for being here. And I've spoken far too much. Thank you, Vicky. Let's get to work.